So I've already done a video covering the DXY yields, gold, silver, and the miners. So no point in going into another one in detail. Now, this video here's my portfolio update. Again, watch that video. I'm just talking about DXY being pretty much on the level, closing. It did close below 104, but let's just give it the benefit of the doubt. We want something a bit more obvious. So something like below 103.8. Then you can expect some more downside. And, for me, next level is 103 on the downside. That would be good to see a DXY roll over, then go to 102, and then test this ascending. And then we can bounce on the ascending and flush to absolute lows, below 100. That would be nice. Otherwise, on the upside, I think a close above 105 is what you need to then say, okay, maybe we're going not only for 107, but maybe higher. But still, let's see that close above 105. That would be the descending line. So, I mean, watch the other video, but that's pretty much it in a nutshell. By the way, yields, they are rolling over, but they're still strong. I mean, the long end, big drop on Friday, expect a bit more continuation. But if you start looking at the two, it's just a touching of resistance. So it's normal that it just backs off a little bit. So we could have, short-term yields going up, and then the longer ones, well, they'll probably follow, but with a lag. And I don't think that will impact gold as much as the DXY. You could have something like yields just grinding sideways up and the dollar grinding sideways down. And I think that might happen, You could have yields going up or just sideways whilst the dollar goes down, and gold should act in accordance to, well, inversely to the dollar. So it might not matter what yields do. But if yields go down, you can expect the dollar to go down, and gold will definitely rally. So let's see. Let's see. The other question really is about miners. So let me just jump straight to just very good gold and silver. But the miners, the question about the miners is how they'll react to the market going down. The market's just been, I think it's at a blow off top stage. I've said this nonstop, and I've been wrong nonstop. But I think we come down now. I really do. Blow off top on Nvidia. Um, yeah, let's see. But the question is, if the market crumbles, do the miners go down, or do they go down but not as much as the markets, or maybe they go up and act as, again, inversely to the markets, but like inversely to the dollar? So lots of questions. I think that we've hit a bit of a bottom in the miners. Now look at gold, nowhere near the relative drop that the miners have had, but Friday, nice bullish engulfing candle close, not at high of day, but still not bad. It would have been better if it was above 2040. This looks like it wants to go higher. Again, it depends on the dollar, mainly the dollar, but it doesn't. It just looks like it wants to go up. There's not much. There's that little flush at 2000. Not many people were stopped out. I think there's a lot of serious institutions, central banks buying, and I just think this is ready to break out of this small mini descending. But this is very relevant. This is like a small tactical descending short-term trend line. But you take that out, and you're pretty much guaranteed to run up here to 2080, and that is all it takes for a long-term strategic breakout. So gold looks good. Silver, which was outperforming not too long ago. I think that's, we did pop all the way up here, which is the same as, for me, 2060 gold. So it backed off a bit more than gold because it went up a bit too much, but it's ready in 1 or 2 days to go straight back up here and then run. And then we're talking 24s. And when you're talking 24s or 24.5 on silver, you're probably talking 2060 on gold. And then that's it. Now we're talking breakouts. So silver can go back up to 26. And it's 26 really, that's the level to break. You want to see a close above 26, maybe several days, not just one day. And then everyone thinks, oh my God, technically it's above 26 close. People like me. And then it just washes you out the next day. Let's have some sort of, confirmation, several days, and then up we go and close above 27. And honestly, once that happens, that's it. Everyone's going to be talking about 30. And it'll probably happen. And at that point, gold's at 2100 and it's all over. Then what do the miners do? The miners will be, well, they would have taken this out a long time ago. They're probably going to run up for all the way up here. You're probably going to have GDXJ testing 40. That was a few months ago. That felt like a few weeks ago, but it was just 2 or 3 months ago or something. So wait a minute. It was last month. No, what am I talking about? Yeah, Jesus, that was quite recent. So yeah, you can expect to go back there. SILJ, same thing, all the way back up here, already breaking out this long-term descending properly. So you're gonna have a lot of things looking very, very bullish. And at the moment, things look, well, they were looking very, very bearish a few days ago. But now I think I'm rushing through this because I've already covered it, but I think we're ready to break out of this little tight wedge, this descending, my favorite breakout to buy something that you believe in long term as it's breaking out of this. Hopefully it's in a long-term uptrend. I wouldn't say that's the case for the miners, but the underlying metals are. So let's see if we can break out of this. Right. Anyway, I've already covered all that, although I kind of repeated myself. Let's look at the portfolio update. I've rearranged this a little bit, actually. I should really start off with, go on, let's start off with Newmont the way I usually do it. So Newmont, well, first of all, it had bad news, bad earnings, I believe. So down it went. That was a bad day. That was like minus seven and a bit percent on the day. And it closed near low of day. So the continuation was expected. Plus, metals weren't exactly doing amazing at the time. And I was already drawing these lines. Thank God I did, because that's where we went to. Now, when I'm drawing 30, why did I draw 30? Well, first of all, I remember because it was the low from down here. It was a kind of rough number. I mean, a rough line, but obviously 30 is a big number. So I was pretty sure that that was a level. It was a level. It did bounce just before, and it always happens, right? I say it all the time. I say it mainly when it comes to sales. If you want to sell $9, sell it 8.89, 8.99, because it's the same thing. Plus, you might not get it. And that's the point. When you're buying, you might not get it. Now, I did buy Newmont 30 something, I believe, which is the same as the low. What was the low? 30.20 or something. It's the same thing. Even if you were to buy right now, 31.28, you look back in several months and it's all the way up at 54. What's the difference between where we are now and, a quarter of a millimeter below? There's no difference. So even on Monday morning pre-market, you could still get the same price pretty much. Point is, that was a nice candle. Quite a few, and obviously I'm going to go through quite a few today. It's going to be quite exhausting, but there were quite a few miners that hit some important levels, I think, especially on the washout on the downside, and Newmont was one of them. It hit its 30, but it's a nice hammer. Now there's a long way to go. First of all, support, you could say that support is resistance is going to be price support, although we almost tested that on the same day, on Friday. So is 31.5-ish resistance? No. I mean, it would have been if it lasted a bit longer, and if it wasn't so immediate, the drop, or although, already on Friday we tested, I think we can consider basically 33.5 as resistance. That was the real price support. We were there a bit longer. You could see it was resistance for a bit longer. So back up we go, 33.5. That'll be resistance. Plus, it was kind of where we were trading before the news flushed us. So I would say first resistance is 33.5. Next one, it's not too obvious, but I would say it's 35.5. And after that, normally I would say the high here of this one, 36 point, let's say 4, but I just feel like if you're closing above 35 point, let's say 7, so you take out this second resistance, you're probably going to go all the way up here. You're not really going to care about this little outlier. So I'm going to stick with ignoring this. I usually don't, but yeah, next one is 37, nice number. And then after that, honestly, there's probably something magnificent going on. You might as well consider the descending. At that point, it'll probably be just below 40. So that'll also be a big round number. So that's what I'll say. The horizontals you see are the resistance levels I've got. And if we do go venture above here, which is not going to happen for 1 or 2 weeks probably, then you're going to have the descending. And then you've got Newmont, which is just still trading. Imagine it goes all the way to the descending. Back down it goes. Oh, no, now we're breaking out of that. My favorite again, the descending. And then up you go basically to the 50s, mid 50s. But that probably takes gold going to 2100, but that can happen quite quickly. So, the drops happen quite quickly, but the rise should also happen quite quickly, despite having very recent bad news. I think it may have been a washout. It'd be really nice to see an immediate reversal and a close above here at 33.7. And then all these fools over here dumping with their stop losses at market open. Goodbye, now chase it. And then that would be very bullish, because it's like, oh yeah, we had really bad news, and 4 trading days later, we're above the day before the news broke. So that this could end up being a very nice washout, but it's early days. Now, if we close, well, I'm not going to say close below 30 because we do have these little mini levels here. Like, look at this 29.2. You know, imagine we do start trading below 30. It can happen. It can happen. Next week, some really bullish news for yields or the dollar, even though it's probably all illogical, you know, like, oh, inflation is strong, so gold is bad, even though it should be the opposite. But anyway, we know how the market is. If we do start to flush for whatever reason, below 30, we do have these little lows here, right? 29 point, whatever they are. Well, let's just say 29, actually. Yeah, let's just say 29. After that, I don't even want to think about it after that. It's quite hard to tell after that. It's you probably got something like this, but that's a long way down. You probably look at the GDX or gold and silver because it would be a bit difficult, you know. I mean, we've got some other risks. What have I got here? Some weekly long-term ascending. Yeah, that looks good. It's a rough thing. Yeah, no, I would look at GDX and the metals below 29. But there you go. I think I've covered the, you know, upside and downside. Let's look at Barrick Gold. Another one, but it wasn't this week. I think that was the week before. It went down, kissed this, went back up. It's nice, you know, it looks nice now. And look where we close. High of day, kind of the high of the last 2 weeks or something. It looks quite good. Where's the next resistance? I don't know if that's really resistance. It didn't look like resistance over here, but it was support. Yeah, okay, this is very rough. You know, yeah, no. I can understand why I put it. It's the low here. It's also a bit of resistance there. You know, I'm going to replace it. Sorry, this is all live and this is unrehearsed. You see what I mean here? It was support there. It didn't really act too much of support here, but it did hit resistance. So let's just say 15, whatever. It's a nice round number. So 15, we clear 15, then we go straight up here. That's 15.4. That's not a big move, but I can see why I think that's a bit of a level. Maybe there was something before, but just here. And then after that, yeah, nothing until 16. And then big move. I remember this was some bad news that happened. So yeah, 15, 15.4, 16, and then up we go. There's probably a stop off point before we get all the way to 18.6. But let's, you know, there's also a little gap here. But let's just get to 16 first. Again, that could actually happen in a week, a good week, a decent week. And then once we take out 18, then we can start looking at 20 and the descending. Now on the way down, obviously we're going to take out 13.8. Sorry, where is that? 13.8. And then after that, yes, 13. That's the low from down here. Also pretty close to the COVID low. And then you got the actual COVID low at 12.5. So those lines make sense. There's probably one missing here. I'll just do because that is a bit of a move, you know, from 16 all the way up here. Let's just do the pre-gap fill. There's probably something like this, I don't like having lots of lines, but honestly, I don't regret having them before because, you know, when I planted them before, they proved quite useful actually. Now, Agnico-Eagle, the next one. See here, the lines seem to have worked also. This one's very bullish. Broke out of the descending already. Now it had good news. So, and it just reiterates, I keep saying Agnico is the best out of all of them, out of the seniors, or the one I like the most. And that kind of was reiterated because good earnings, right? The other ones don't really react the way Agnico-Eagle did. So we bounce. We've already bounced quite a lot. Here's the descending. You can see it was prior support roughly coincided perfectly on that day. We broke out of it. Good news, continuation. Now we're all the way up here. No man's land. $50 is a big number, but I don't see it as resistance. But okay, it did act kind of as a resistance on Friday, or at least it wasn't able to clear 50 or at least close above it. I think we go up. 51, it's the high here. I reckon 50, this area here, 51.7 is more of a resistance. You got these two candles. After that, yep, 50, this level here is the candle, also support, also a mini gap. So this one is probably the strongest one, 53.7. And then after that, you hit here, but you also hit the descending, the long-term descending. So, and when you zoom out, you realize all these little horizontals that they can easily be punched through, but it's the descending that should really come into play. So for me, these levels are correct. It's bullish in no man's land, perfect, ready to keep going basically Monday, Tuesday, as long as the dollar and yields don't just scream higher. Support should become maybe down here actually, right? Let's just readjust it and I'll put it like this. So support should be sort of low 48s. If we keep going down, honestly, the descending retest could be one, but that would probably coincide because it would take 1 or 2 or 3 days. So by the time it happens, it will probably coincide perfectly with this 46.5, which was support before. I don't really know if it was much resistance or support here. I don't think so. But yeah, it should coincide with the descending. So I'm going to say that that can remain here. And if we keep going down, well, it's going to be the lows from what is that, 2 weeks ago, the 44.3-ish low. And if it keeps going below that, then something horrible has happened. Because I don't think it's going to be news related to Agnico, unless there's some mine collapse, but it's just had good earnings. So it's probably going to be some sector news and everything's getting washed out. But yeah, okay, then it'll be 43.4. I don't see that happening at all. I don't even see a revisit of 44.5 happening. So Agnico-Eagle looks very, very good. Next one, Pan American Silver. Look at this little gap fill here. Perfect. That's done. Nice little hammer close at high of day. This is ready to come out. I don't have a descending on this one. It doesn't work here. It's too steep. Does it work here? Nah, it's okay. I don't need to force it. I think next level, well, first of all, support is going to be this 12.15, the low from 1 or 2 weeks ago. But after that, you have to zoom out. It's the COVID low. That's 11. That's possible. You take out 12. What's next? Well, 11. And then you've got the low just below, also in between the lows of COVID. 10, 20. Wow. And after that, you got the ascending, which is out of sight, but by then it'll probably be $8. Wow. Well, we're not going there. We're not going there. Especially if gold starts to move up towards like 2100, silver's going to be making a quick move to the mid 20s, maybe even higher. So Pan America should be really racing up. Maybe I'm just an optimist. Maybe I'm a bit biased. I am. But anyway, the candle looks very good. Nice close. We need to go now on the way up. I would say more this line here. This, you know what? Goodbye. Doesn't really count. It's more this one here, isn't it? 13.4-ish. Look, we never cleared it on these days. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's also kind of, I should make this a thicker line, because then it would act as it would, it would account for this low here, but this low is part of the same group. So yeah, I would say 13.3-ish, whether it's 13.25 or 13.4, it's the same thing. So let's just say 13.3 is resistance. So if we can close, let's say above 13.4, now we can shoot towards the high over here, which is just above 14, let's say 14. And once you can take out 14, let's extend it because it will become relevant quite soon. Then we can take out this high and this sort of gap window zone. This is the beginning of, okay, that's the beginning of the gap. That's the close of the gap the other way down, the other way around. So on the way up. So yeah, I would agree with that. 13.335-ish. After that, let's say 13.4. First level of resistance. Next level is 14.10. After that is going to be this sort of 14.4. And then let's fill the gap, 14.65. And then, yes, the high here. And by then, you're going to hit the descending. And there's this major one here, pretty clear, $17. So that's Pan America. I remember we visited $17. We really want to close above that. The day you close above 17 on Pan America, you get to zoom out and say, okay, how high can we go? Because that's when you're on total breakout mode. So that looks good. I think that covers all the levels on the way down and on the way up. Next one is SSRM. This one here, I owed it pretty much where it is. I think I'm slightly in the money. My heaviest stock, that's why I actually moved it to the top. But I want to keep the chronology of the mines I cover in the same format as the previous videos. So I'm going to leave it here, but it's my heaviest one. And I'm very happy with its close on Friday, close at high of day. This one's probably better off in the 15 minutes. There you go. So obviously we flushed on that pit collapse. And now it's just sort of, we didn't really go down as much as the others. I mean, we just got flushed out on that mine collapse day, so makes sense. But since then, it's been holding up quite well, especially in the low fours. And then look at this. This closed around 4.65. I think we're going to race straight away on Monday, even if the miners are sort of slightly red. I think it's ready to go to 4.9. $5 is resistance. As soon as I zoom out, it just gets tiny. So $5 is resistance. Once you take out $5, it's going to run. I don't know how much it's going to run. It's quite hard to tell. Let's go to the daily because there's nothing, it's no man's land. What, it's just going to go straight to 6? It could. I think if the sector is on fire, this thing would be allowed to run like from 5 to 6. How much of a move is that? I mean, already from where it is now, I'm going to do from 5 to 6. 20% is quite a big move, but I think it can do it on a good day. A day where Newmont is up 5% and Barrick Gold is up 4.5%, Agnico is up 6%. Pan American Silver is probably up 8%. And then you got SSRM's up 20, 23, crazy day, but it's only going back to 6. It flushed from 10. And I thought it was a buy at 10. I remember saying it's just the mine collapse. So it looks very good. It's easier to cover support actually. Support is going to be, well, first of all, you got this low sort of 4.3-ish zone. And once you flush that, honestly, I mean, I don't even think 4 is support. If you lose this sort of the low of day 4.2, let's say 4.2 to be sure, you're going to go to 3 point, let's say 6.5, right? The low on that flushy, yeah, this day where it flushed. And after that, I don't think it's going to go below, but let's just, wow, you have to go to the weekly. I mean, where do you go? I don't know. You go to 2, you get to not even $1. You're not allowed to go to 2. It's just too much of a move, which is why it's such a buy, which is why I'm in so heavy. And I think some of you are also. So I'm just going to say on the way down, 4.2, and then let's say 3.65. On the way up, I'm going to say $5, or maybe it's actually 4.9. But as soon as we visit 4.9, it's going to go straight through it. So I don't even consider that resistance. I think that's where you get a lot of shorts that stop out. And then you run. And honestly, I don't know. $6 should be resistance just because it's a big round number and it's a bit of a move. It's 20%. And from where it is now, it's more. After 6, I don't know. I would do 50-cent increments, 6.5, 7, 7.58. And then once you get up here, then yeah, $8 should be, look, it was a level before. It's also kind of close to where it opened on that catastrophic day. So $8 should be kind of pretty strong resistance. And then obviously the open 8.3, then the gap fill, and then 9, 10. So, but if you're all the way up there, you've made 100%. So you should be selling anyway. And I will probably be trimming. I'm up for a long-term hold on this one. I want to make some big money on this one. I don't want to get cute and sell for little 30-cent pops as I used to do and then buy back. It's kind of cool. And you can actually make more money than holding it long term if you buy back. But this one I'm up for holding long. But once we get up here, I will be trimming something. That's just out on principle. And then I'll probably buy a different stock at that point. Well, we'll see. I think we're weeks away, at least from a move all the way up to 8, 9, 10. There you go. Those are the levels. Next one is Wheaton. Now, yeah, Wheaton is one that got absolutely filleted in the face. This one took me by surprise. Well, I thought it was good news. What did they? Again, I don't pay too much attention to news. I try and get the right stocks, the seniors, the right ones. I've been delving in the wrong ones for a long time. I've dodged many bullets, really many bullets. I was in McEwen Mining, Goro Mining, and you look at their share price now. I don't know how I traded my way out of them and then slowly bought different stocks and somehow didn't just dodge a bullet, but actually made money when I look back. I had all my money, and I had my money in Pretium, which was that was a good one, but I didn't actually hold that for the good times. Anyway, I dodged many bullets. So I don't pay too much attention to the good stocks I own because I think they're good. Wheaton is a good stock because I've stopped playing around in tiny juniors and, risky ones. Although I do own still maybe 2 or 3 like EXK, Mag Silver, those are ones I still want to get rid of. Gogold, also not really a well-established name, but otherwise I would say 90% of the stocks I own are good. Wheaton, I think a lot of you would know it. A lot of you would think it's well-established, well-run royalty company, but there you go. It had bad news. I didn't read much into it. I think they said that they were only going to make 50% in the next 5 years. But for me, if the share price increased by 50%, which is true, it's not that much compared to other gold stocks, but for royalty, that's okay. And that's still up. So I would have thought the stock goes up on such news, but it went down. Fine by me. Did I buy it? Yes, I did. Where did I buy it? Yes, I bought it. I bought it at 41 and 40, like 41.50. I bought at 41.50 a little bit. Then bought a little bit at 41, like 41.02 or something. And then I bought low 40s, 40, like 20. And here we are. So basically, we're below all three buys. They were little machine gun buys, nothing too crazy. Because I re-entered Wheaton after setting it all the way up here, actually. I thought it was time to buy it because it was going to run. And I didn't buy too much. It was my first buy. So basically now it's worth the same as Franco Nevada, which is not on this list. I'll cover that next. But it's not worth more than these. So basically now it's still not worth as much as my top 4 or 5 seniors. So I'm happy, even though the share price is currently under my 3 buys of this week. I'm still happy it's Wheaton, I think it was a bit of an exaggerated move. I thought it would have gone up, so to buy it on the way down is good. Now, who cares about that? The levels. I noticed that it flushed this ascending first of all, so I wasn't really rushing into it, but I thought it might sort of bounce back and close within the ascending. So that's why my first buy was at 41.5. Then after that, I just looked at my trend lines. I thought, okay, let's get 41. I thought, a bit like Newmont, I thought it'd bounce before we get to this 41. That's why I bought at 41.02, but we kept on going down. And then I thought 40, big round number. I just didn't think it would go all the way down here. And to be honest, it hasn't yet. And it looks like it wants to move back up. I reckon in 2 or 3 days, we're moving back up. We're probably at 42, which is probably resistance. So the levels. Well, this is not a level anymore, that's for sure. The new level is going to be the low of this week. That's for sure. There we are, nice and clean. So the low of this week, let's call it 39. If we go below that, the low I've got here, I think it's still valid, 38.5-ish. If we lose that, we go back down here, which is not the most obvious level, but it's a big round number, 36. I can see it there. I can see resistance there. I can see it was support there, and it was kind of support from back here. So I'll agree with that. I don't even think we get there. So those will do for now. Now on the way up, nothing until we retest 42. It's quite hard to tell whether it's 42 or 42.5. Go on, let's just add the little levels, add some extra numbers. We've also got this ascending, and it's between these two levels, these two horizontals perfectly. So actually, this entire area should be resistance. I'll leave that there. I rarely do it, so all 3 lines can coalesce as one big resistance area. After that, is there a gap here? I don't know. It would take a lot to not just go all the way up here, but we're talking about going beyond the start of the bad news. So that's making up for the whole thing. That's a big move. So just from where we are going all the way up here, we're talking about 10% on a streamer. That's quite a lot. That's quite hard to do. So you probably need the sector to help you out there. I'd expect a lot of resistance once you're all the way up here, not just the gap, but you'll have lots of little levels, and this descending will definitely be resistance. So 1, 2, 3, these 3 should be strong, but if you are able to get above, I don't know about the gap. I'm not sure about the gap. I don't want to add too many more. Go on, I'll add one as if it goes into the gap just to close the gap. There you go. That's Wheaton. Now let's look at Franco Nevada. Well, this one's been going sideways for some time. It hasn't really looked like the other miners in terms of charts. So I think it's pretty constructive, just grinding sideways, literally sideways, ready to break out of the descending, my favorite line. And after you do, that's true. The first one is 112, just to clear the high of the last 2, 3, 4 weeks, basically since the beginning of the year, almost. And after that, yeah, it'll be the high of the last 3 months. So that's all the way up here, this horizontal 114. And after that, now that I've had more time to consider it, and now that there's more time in the consolidation, I think the move is going to be a bit higher than, from 114 to 116. That's a really small move from Franco Nevada. And I'd expect a lot of things happening in the background, like the sector going up. So I think a 2% move is way too little. So yes, I think I can finally remove that and say the move should go to basically the 120s. And I would say 122 is your first real resistance. And after that, yeah, the old support from all the way over here, 127. And let's be honest, by the time we get there, we're hitting this descending. So, oops. So yeah, I think all the way up here should be strong resistance. On the way down, it's going to be the low, so 104. After that, the low of the last couple of months, that's 102. And after that, I remember this, you'd expect it to go even lower, 95. That's not the COVID low, but it was a stop-off point at some point. And it should coincide with this long-term and very credible ascending. So there you go, Franco Nevada. I think that's agreeable. Next one is Metalla to finish the royalties. This one has, whoa, I just realized now, this one's kept on going down. Well, this one's been underperforming the others. So it's time to look at my lines. Has there been some bad news? That's pretty, I didn't expect that. For some reason, that slipped my radar. And this is why I never go too hard in any. But anyway, my first entry was down here anyway. This is not really a problem. If the whole sector goes up, it's going to be going all the way up to 3 4s very quickly. But that does surprise me now. So it's closed near low of day, unlike all the others. It's had a red day, unlike the others. And I don't see it near any support. It looks like it's in the middle of no man's land, unlike the others. I'd have to check for some news on that one. Where are we? We're at 2.5. Let's zoom out. What's going on at 2.5 over here? Yeah, I agree. Nothing until really 2.3. And if we start to flush 2.3, Lord forbid, then it's going to be basically $2, 52.10. But let's just say $2, which is still like a minus 20% drop or something. And then after that, no idea, 1.7 or something. I refuse to put that one in for now because that's still a hell of a way away from where we are. It's pretty weak. And I have to read up on that because I feel like that's news. That's not really normal price action. So anyway, there you go. 2.3 and then 2 underneath that, which is in place. And on the way up, it's going to be price support. Yes, 2.7 roughly. Or is it 2.6? Let's say 2.65 to make it a bit of an average between the two. So let's clear that. And after that, you've got this descending, don't you? Look at that. Wow. You got this descending, very, very important, which should probably coincide with $3, which is psychological and horizontal. So huge resistance around 3. It's really a question of the psychological $3. It's the actual horizontal support that becomes resistance, and it's this huge long-term descending, which will coincide. 3 will be huge. Once you close above 3, I don't think we're going to go to 3.2. We're going to go way higher. It'll probably be 3.5, 3.6, and then we can start looking at 4. And then it's looking very good all of a sudden. So all is not lost. I thought this was a good company. I know Schiff wanted it at $4, so I was very happy to buy it at 2.6. There you go. It's now at 2.4. Well, I think I bought it at 2.8 initially, and then I added 2.6. There you go. There's levels, support, and resistance on Metalla. Next one is going to be First Majestic. Well, that one looks good. And that's after going to the absolute lows. Now, those people who bought down here, and I would have been one of them, but I didn't. I was tied up elsewhere. I know there are some subscribers who bought this level. Well done. This is a maximum support zone. It's got like 3 decent support levels. You've got this horizontal previous support, which is the weakest one, and it did actually go below it. But right nearby, you have these huge brotherly friends. You got this 4.10 low of COVID, which is, I think, the actual support that it ended up doing it. And you've got this long-term ascending, which is pretty rough. And that one is always in the background, giving a helping hand. And anyway, together, little power ranges, up you go. Look at this thing, close the high of day, close the gap too, just in case anyone was wondering if that was worthy. And this is a beautiful engulfing candle. It's closing a high of day. We can just already assume Monday, Tuesday, we're going all the way to 4.9. And if you can close above 4.94, let's just say 5, up you go. Yes, it's true. 5.10, I think, is a bit of resistance because of, well, it's the highest we've ever reached in weeks. So, but I think you take out 4.93, you go straight to 5.10 the same day or next day. And then after that, yeah, prior support, 5.4-ish. I think the horizontals, the rest I agree with. There's no other descending. There was one descending and it's already taken it out. So looks very, very good. I wish I had bought that, I guess. And looking back, it's obvious and I knew it at the time. So well done, guys, for buying that one. Support on the way down. Nah. So the levels I just read are enough. They're strong, and this is looking very strong. I don't think we're gonna just flush and take out 4.10. And if we do, the short answer is just look at the silver chart and probably the SILJ chart. But obviously $3 is a serious level of support, but we're not going to get there. So there you go. There you go. The resistance levels are the most important ones. The next one is Fortuna. This one, well, it's holding its support. That's good, but it's, after looking at AG, First Majestic, not looking as good. Is there a descending? Yeah, there is, but no point. Okay. So 2.7 is support. It's held again. What you really need is, well, first of all, let's close above 2.8. I haven't done that in a while. But after that, no real. Where's your first resistance? Or let's look at support. If you're to lose 2.7, yeah, next one is 2 points. This level 5.8. And after that, we're looking at some lows of 2.2, 2.1. Yeah, and after that, it's going to be this COVID low, right? 1.5. Wow, that's far away. Don't see that happening at all. On the way up, what about this low? I'm going to try and make an average. Sometimes I do that, as you can tell. I'm not sure if it's 2.95 or, oh no, it's the round number. Who cares? $3. Okay, $3. There you go. That's the resistance, $3. After you take out $3, 3.320, which is normal, by the way. When you take out a full number, the next one is 20 cents, really, normally. Once you take that out, up we go, 3.4. Yeah, then it's the gap fill, 3.5. Then it's all the way up here. Yeah. Okay, all of that is correct. Nothing changed. Very nice. That's Fortuna. Next one, EXK. Well, as much as I hate it, that's an okay candle. I had resistance or support rather at 1.5. We flushed it and now we closed above it. You know what? It's now no longer a level because we made new lows. So the new lows 1.45 is the real level. And we have other levels below that. It's the COVID low stepping stones, let's say. So after 1.45, 1.2, and after 1.2, $1. But at the moment, looks good. Next stop is the descending. There's nothing but the descending that matters. If we were to go, where would we hit descending? Before 1.7, let's say 1.67-ish. There you go, 1.67. You go sideways, you come back down, then you pop your head above. Oh, we're closing above it for the first time in months. People pay attention, machines start to see it. Up we go. And maybe it's quite hard to see next resistance. It's really hard. It's just so many times it hits it and goes back down that 1.9. I don't know. Take out the descending, then we see. But I think that could happen actually. I think it's finally ready to pop its head up. Especially if the sector keeps going, gold goes to 2060 and GDX and GDXJ start to scream up. This one is going to have some serious short covering. And I think $2 is possible. And then after that, this level is the next real obvious resistance. Yeah, it's true. I see a bit here. Okay, I'll leave it as it is. But descending resistance is what you need to take out. Otherwise, 1.45, 1 point, like I said, 1 point. Wait, what did I say? Yeah, then you got 1.35. I didn't see that one. And then you got 1.2 and then 1. Okay. Next, Coeur d'Alene. Also not on my trading view. Nice. This is my favorite little small silver beast. Not a very well-run company, if I remember how other people described it. When it comes to margins, debts, all that sound financial structure, I don't think it's the best one. But when it comes to the stock, when it comes to silver going up, this thing is a little beast, and I really like it. Now, so far, nothing crazy, but I can imagine the sector starts to turn up. We're going all the way up here. First of all, I'm quite surprised that it's held this level quite well, whilst everything else was making new lows. Coeur d'Alene did not, and I would have bet all my money that it would. But I didn't bet any money that it would. I just held what I had. So very happy to have held. I didn't add because I've got quite a lot in this one. I've always had quite a lot in this one. And because it hasn't gone down, I still have quite a lot in this one. So if it's next resistance on the way up, $3. After that, yeah, we're not going to take out 3 and go to 307, are we? So after that, gap fill 320. Remember that 320. And after that, clear skies till 370. And yes, it can make that move very, very quickly. On the way down, it's this 2.5 that's never cracked. And then after it starts to crack 2.5, $2. But again, I'd look at silver because it's probably not going to go to $2 in one go. I want to keep it simple with Coeur d'Alene, and because it's done so well, holding on the way down, on the way up, I think it's just resistance that's worth analyzing for now because I think we're ready to go up. So that's Coeur d'Alene. Next one, Discovery. Now this one, a bit like Coeur d'Alene, has held its little 44 zone. I was watching it a bit more. It wasn't trading that much. It's a little junior, probably the only junior I own, and it's very illiquid. But I was seeing, the bid was like 43 point whatever 87, or actually it was more like 44 point something. And the offer was 46. So that kind of explains why 45 pretty much ended up being where it's been hovering around for 2 weeks. This descending, irrelevant. I think, yes, everything holds. So 44, 45 is the support. After that's 40. And after that, honestly, it's quite hard. That's why I left them all out. But let's just say 30 and 20 cents, it's 10-cent increments, probably 5-cent increments at that point. But here, I think we're ready to go up. So 50 cents should be a big round number. It was also resistance last time. So I'll leave that one in there. After that, if we take out 50, looks like 60, then 65, then 70. Nothing changes there. Just wondering if there's a... Not really. Okay. After that, ARMN, Aris Mining, which has been doing very, very, very well for several months. And now it's finally come back down. Look at this level. Perfect. It's still holding. This one, very, very, widespread. The bid, I've seen it in the 2.7s this week. You can see it went as low as 2.77. And the ask in the 2.9s, and pretty much just been hovering in the 2.8s. So the ascending is still there as backup, but I don't think we need it. The real support is this one here, 2.8-ish. So I think that's all you need on the way down. Just those two, the horizontal 2.8 or just below if you've got a lucky bid. Otherwise, the ascending should be support. I don't think we're going to go to the next level, which might be 2.35. On the way up, yeah, I think really nothing until 3.2. I don't even think $3 is resistance, although it was for several days. But still, look where we traded already on Friday, 2.95. I don't think $3 is resistance. I think you can go straight to 3.2. Remember, 20 cents. Again, it's the third time. It's also with the number three, but it's not three, it's the 20 cents. You take out the 1 unit increment, it really should go like a magnet to 3.2 or 3.19. Okay, so 3.2 after that, 3.4, and after that, it's either 3.6. I think if we're all the way up here, it's ready to make a new ground, so probably 3.6. So here, everything is correct. Leave it as it is. Very nice technicals. Next one is Mag Silver. Another one I don't like, but look at this. Yeah, I'm also seeing some of this for the first time. First of all, gap fill. Well, that already happened, and it's not a big gap, so forget that. But yeah, okay, gap fill. What's really important to see is this kiss here. It's a bit of a Newmont kiss. Look at that. Hits the low. Remember, Mag's been absolute atrocious stock for a while. A bit like EXK, but now it's starting to look good. Look at EXK again. Also looks good on that. Quite a few of them have some very nice Friday candles. Maybe not Metalla, but so it kisses the low, close at high of day, kisses this descending, by the way. Is it accurate that descending a little bit? I think it's already broken out of the descending, actually. It has. I'll just extend it so I know that it's relevant for next week, and then I'll get rid of it. I think we're going to go up. It looks very good. Close a high of day candle, pretty engulfing. Descending is pretty much taken out. We just need to take out something obvious. This is obvious, 8.9. Look at the support here. Look at the resistance on those 2 days, or even this day. So let's close above 8.9 and then boom, up we go. Yeah, 9.4 is the first pit stop. We're probably going to go higher. And yes, the real support from here is quite hard to tell because we dig our toes below sometimes. And it was, so I can understand why I have two horizontals, basically $10. 9.4, then 10. So yeah, I think 9.4 is where we go to, and then we can run to 10. And honestly, we could even go higher. This thing should be much higher. On the way down, obviously the support of 8.25-ish is support. And after that, we have this little pit stop during the COVID lows. It's not the COVID low, but it's an area we stopped off at after bouncing from the COVID low. So 7.4. And after that, I've got nothing, but you're not going to go down to 4 after that. But I don't even think we're going to go down. So the levels on the way up is all you need to know. After 10, then you can start looking at this 11.2 and then this 12 zone, which I was looking at not too long ago. So big move ahead, and it's definitely capable of doing it. Long overdue. Next one is Gogold. Wow. Another one that I didn't pay too much attention to. This one lost its 70. I remember seeing it in the 70s and thinking, okay, it's gone lower than it has in a while. What did I have here? It's time to see. Okay, so here I had this trend line because this was support. It's kind of took it out, but okay, this was resistance here, here, and after we took it out, up we go. So, and it kind of acted as support for this. Yes, it did. So 70, I had 69. Okay, yeah, 70 is a level, and if it wasn't, now it is because that was the low of that week, and it was for 2 days, wasn't it? Thursday, Friday, and we had well, we didn't have a green day, but still, it looks quite nice. This 71 in the end, and I had okay, 71 then. Let's just say 70, big round number. 70 is your support. Is this now going to be resistance? No, it's too close. And hmm, and this is more of a resistance because we've been bouncing off this zone longer, which is let's say 80, yeah, 82. I'm going to remove this. It didn't really work. Or is it really 84? Wow, whatever, 82. So there you go. Let's say 70 is your new support. If we lose that, wow, if you lose that, where do you go? Probably 60. I'm not going to put anything below because I'm not too sure, but I would suggest 60. Let's just look where we were here. You lose this. 55 is more support. 60, then 55, then 50. Okay, you're at, we go 60 and then it's 5-cent increments. So let's just pluck them out of thin air, but that's based on what I just saw. I would say it's 60 and then it's going to be 5-cent increments. 55 and then 50. I have very little in this one, but I do intend to buy if it goes this low because I think it will bounce and you can get out easily in the black. For now, it's okay where it is. It's a shame because it was really close to breaking out this. But look at this descending, how it worked. Let's reset the chart. This descending worked quite well. I mean, it's been helped, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then here, I don't know if you want to say it hit multiple times, but over a long period of time. So, and there you go, just gave way. It was holding up very well though, whilst the others were flushing to new lows. So maybe it's just making up for its, they said, okay, you haven't done it, time to go down, and everything else has gone down. But it could actually just recover and go back up. And then maybe 90s resistance at that point if it's able to take out 82, 82. Now. I'll leave the descending in, basically, if you don't take out the descending, you're just still stuck in the downtrend. So that'll do for Gogold. Next one is SBSW. That's the last one I own. And then it's subscriber videos, subscriber requests. But this video has been going on for an hour, so I may just stop it there, post it, and then do the subscriber and watch list remains tomorrow. So let's do SBSW. Look at this. It's yeah, SBSW is pretty volatile and a very high risk. So I'm in the like 4.5s or something. Forgot my average, but I bought like low fours and then I bought a bit higher. I think I'm pretty much 4.5, but I'm just gonna say between 4 and even 6, average being 5. I just consider that one range at the moment because when you zoom out, look at this. It's volatile. And if it's going to break down, it's going to go to COVID lows very quickly. If we lose $4, I'll get to supports and resistance pretty soon. But you can see it can go lower. And if it starts to break out, it can go higher quickly. So I don't want to, look at these numbers and say, oh, it's gone from 6 to 4. It's time to add. I think you got to give this some room, this one. Now, it's been holding quite well in the low fours. First of all, $4 is a level. Now, it was actually holding just here, this sort of 4.4 zone quite well. That was a level. And then I removed it because I could see it took it out and started to trade, constantly up and down, above and below the level I had. So at that point, it was rendered obsolete. But it was a level just before, 4.4. Look, it bounced here. But now I'm just going to say $4. I mean, I could say this 4.13 is a level because it's kind of hit that. But this is just useless because if we go below, obviously 4 is going to be a level. So $4 really is your support. If we take that out, it's going to be this COVID low of 3.5, 50-cent increment drop from 4. After that, it's going to be probably 3, the low from down here, although it's actually above 3. Go on, I'll add that in because that's another 50-cent excuse. And then after that, it's going to be, 2.52. Perfect. It's 50-cent increments. I'll remember that. I won't draw them all in. Now, if we go up, gap fill, 4.6, it's going to be this descending. You can already see how relevant it is. 1, where it starts. 2, 3, I'm going to call that 4. And then where we hit next time will be 5. So if we can close above 4.7, not only do we take out the last pump high, bounce high, but we're probably going to be outside the descending. And then we go straight up to 510, down a bit more, and then back up 540, down and back up 580. And now can we break out and really run? So those are levels, the horizontals, the descending, and then on the way down, you can tell it's basically 50-cent increments. That's it. You know what, guys? It's very late. I play football tomorrow or soccer. So I'm gonna post this one and I will do your subscribe. Normally I sort of gel everything together, but I prefer to post this so that you already have it. And then I'll do a separate one, subscriber requests and watch list tomorrow because it's pretty much the same amount. You know, at that point it's Eldorado, Heckler, B2 Gold, Kinross, Equinox, Goldfields, Nova Gold, I Am Gold, Harmony, Anglo Gold, and that'll take me another hour. And there's probably another one that's not on the list that I want to cover. So there you go. I'm going to try and post this tonight. Hope you find that of value. I think it looks good overall. There are one or two weak ones, Metalla and Gogold. I don't think any of you guys actually follow Gogold. It's actually my weakest holding. Yeah, Metalla is doing quite bad. It was red, but otherwise, the previously weak ones, EXK and MAG, that I actually want to get rid of, they actually look good. So it'd be nice if they popped. I'd sell them and probably buy something else. I don't know, Pearl Duckland, Pan America, Wheaton, whatever. Well, whatever. Anything else is probably better. But anyway, the point is, even the weak ones look quite good. So, and it doesn't take much for us to all of a sudden start shooting up. You know, gold going up $20, $30, which is not a lot when it's at 2,000. Just a 1% move, and the whole thing looks extremely bullish, and it gets the attention of all these high frequency trading, you know, robots, and the rest is history. So these miners should really take off. But we've been saying that for ages, but I think it is our turn. Anyway, good luck, enjoy the weekend, and hopefully I post another video tomorrow.